Hello everybody, this is my WIP Parade number 2, and here is my basket, second basket, with my WIPs. This is not a regular floss tube video. As I said yesterday, I am just showing my WIPs and doing them like a basket at a time so that I can get through them and so it doesn't take, several hours to make a video. So this is not a regular video, it's just all my WIPs. Anyway, I'm starting out, very first one, so we'll just get right to it. This is called a summer lace maker. It's a lace maker at her pillow, lace pillow. If you've watched my videos for any length of time, or if you look behind me, there and there, I make lace too. That's my other passion, and I make it on a pillow. It's bobbin lace. So I do have a couple patterns, cross-stitch patterns that are lace related or have lace makers on them. So this is one. It is being stitched on a 28 count pink Lugana with the called for DMC threads. Only just a little bit done. It's a pretty pink though. Yeah, you can see it a little better back there. It's a good thing I kept that sheep needle minder on there because it is above and in the right direction for this. Otherwise I wouldn't even know what direction I'm going on because it's all her dress. Unfortunately, she won't be worked on this year. Maybe I can pull her out next year. But it's not one of my focus pieces. Okay, the next one is Harriet Elizabeth Coe by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This is being stitched on 28 count Picture This Plus Fog, which is kind of one of my favorite linens for samplers and such right now. I just like the look on for a lot of it. So, and called for weeks threads. I believe there may be some other other threads too. So. Check to make sure. Yeah, some are Gentle Arts, Classic Colorworks mostly. So, this again will not be pulled out this year unless it gets called for a challenge prompt in one of the groups I belong to. Okay, my next WIP is Prairie Life Sampler by Heartstrings Samplery. I'm not going to take that out of the plastic. I think you can see that angled that way. This is the Little House sampler that Heartstring put out a few years ago. This is actually on my WIP Go and Mania. It was my Mania piece from the very first Mania I did, 2017, and I put it on my WIP Go board because it's been languishing for way too long, and I picked it up for a prompt, oh man, about a month ago, and I realized how much I was enjoying it, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna try to make it more of a focus piece this coming year. So some of you have probably already seen it. I accomplished a few more of the trees on that. So, and let's see. Gotta find my card here. It's before I started keeping track of fabric. So it is a 32 count, but some kind of mystery fabric. From the looks of it and the feel of it, I think it's Weigart. Maybe an antique white. I don't think it's a stark white. So, And it's all the called for threads, which in her case is probably mostly gassed, but let me see. There's some weeks. In fact, actually, it's all weeks. So, all weeks Dyeworks threads. So this will be a focus piece for me this coming year. And I think I'm really going to enjoy it. And it'd be nice to, especially even, I hope it gets called in the WIP board before we do Mania, because it, you know, or I use it for a prompt because it'd be cool to have a bunch more work done on it. Okay, this is the Embroideress. I started this last year by Joan Elliott. Stitching Mommy and me decided to do a Joan Elliott start, and yeah, it was during the summer, and I had never done Joan Elliott before, and so I just really was excited to start it. So. And I worked on it straight for like a week, quite a few hours, so I got a good start on it. All the top part, all that ornate stuff. This is being stitched on 32 count silk weaver lavender mist, so it's a very light lavender color with all the called for DMC and metallics, because if you look in there, there's some metallic work too, the gold. So this is not a Mania piece because it was just started last year after Mania, but it is on my WIP board, so I'll be excited to pull it out and work on it. It will be a focus piece this year. Okay, you get back in there. Okay, next one. Well, next one is also one that I started with Floss Tuber Stitching Mommy. We decided to start a stitch along for World Cross Stitching Day, and we both picked Heirloom Stitching Sampler by the Victoria Sampler. I had this in my stash for a long time, and I've always wanted to do a band sampler from Victoria Sampler, so it was a good time to start it. This Victoria Sampler had, I decided to kit it up with the original called for silks. So here's an expensive bunch of floss. It's some needlepoint ink, some Splendor, some Gloriana. So I did end up kitting it up in the called for silks and metallics. I had picked up this piece of fabric a long time ago. It's kind of an interesting color. They call it wood violet. So it's kind of got brown tones to it, but it, lavender too. So, and it's a 28 count, and it was a long, big enough piece. So I started up there at the top. I spent a week working on it. The top part there is overwon, the flowers. The yellow underneath is satin stitch, and then the letters. So that is on my WIP board also. So it will get some love this year too. Okay. Next one. Oh, where there. This one I always want to say the wrong thing. This is Prairie Schooler, Where There Are Bees. I love 50s and 60s rock and roll, and I wanted to call this Where the Bees Are. So instead of Where the Boys Are, like Connie Francis, we can call it Where the Bees Are. This is just a cute little sampler, and even though I have it down as no work done on it, I'm going to see if I can put it into some prompts, possibly, because it's cute, and I should be able to get it done, but I didn't have it down. I kind of inadvertently, I think, forgot that it was there. And, but it should be a doable piece and get done fairly fast. I don't have, again, this is a mystery fabric. I know it's a Lugana, and I'm pretty sure it's either 28 or 32. I did not check it. And I did have a little bit of a start here. When I kitted this up a couple years ago at our local stitching shop, I not only didn't keep my materials keep my tag for the fabric, I also had to sub out some of the colors because they did not have some of the colors for it. But these are pretty close to, I think, the colors that are being used for it. So we were able to get pretty close. And most of them are, let's see, they're all gentle arts. So, and they all kind of are similar to what the colors that were called for. I think there was one or two that were the called for colors, but we did have to sub out some of them. So that's a cute little Prairie Schooler pattern that I have no down on it, but if I can get a few stitches on it this year, I would like that. So my next WIP is on my WIP Go board, and so I hope to get some serious work done on it. It's a Satsuma Street called Arcadia. Last time I worked on this one was, and this was kind of a start for a special event, is 2 years ago exactly. Our whole family, grandchildren, children, we all went to Disneyland as kind of a special Christmas present for all of us. It was like the kids and the grandkids' Christmas present. And I had this pattern in my stash for a while, and I just think that looks so much like It's a Small World. And so I thought, oh, well, I can have a Disneyland piece while I'm at Disneyland, to me. So I found this blue when I was looking through. I wanted to find a blue really similar to this blue, and I was really having a hard time, but I finally did. It is a 25 count Alaskan Blue Lugana. As you can see, it really, really does look like the blue. And I did get some significant progress on it while I was traveling and while we were there. So started in the middle, and I'm just doing 2 over 2 because I wanted to kind of a big piece. What was really fun was when we were we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, the old retro 50s one, and they had murals all over from that they have not changed out. They've kept the place looking very much like when it was built in the 50s. And they had a mural on the wall that looked exactly like this. It was just really cool. And so I thought, oh, this is so perfect. So anyway, I have this down on my WIP Go board. I want to get some good work done on it. And just love that piece. Okay, my next piece, let's see. Oh, A Savior's Praise. I started this with the idea of just whipping on through it, and of course, there's a lot to this piece, and I did not whip on through it. But I did get a significant amount of it done until I decided to join my friend Brenda at Handwork Maniac and do Lost No More, our Easter piece. And then I set it down and never picked it back up. So this is the amount that I got done on it. I think it's 1.5 pages. This is being stitched on 40 count Lakeside Linen Maritime white with the called for DMC conversion. She was using, I believe she was using anchor threads, but I don't know. I'd have to check on that. Anyway, this is a real pretty piece. Again, one that I was doing most of my work on Sunday, but then I switched over to Lost No More, and I'm keeping Lost No More as a focus piece. So hopefully this is a no work unless it's a challenge prompt, but it might get pulled out this year. Okay. This was my very first Mania, number 1 on Mania. So it will get work done on, at least in May, though I'm not sure on any other time during the year. Here lie my needles. I still like the piece, but I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking I might change it out some, do something different with it. So that's why I don't really have it on the radar. Okay. This is what I accomplished on it. It's on a 28 count overdyed peach Lugana. You can kind of maybe tell the peachy look, little blotches of peachy. And it's using the overdyeds that were called for. And so far for the color, it's working out pretty well with overdyed threads. So Yon Lady is done there. And then here lie my needles. So probably won't use that one this year, unless it's used for a prompt. Okay, this is also one that I'm sure won't get pulled out this year. I like it, but there's other ones, of course. I can only concentrate on so many. This is Glendon Place Plum Pudding. I'm using all the called for dinky dyes and doing it on the called for linen, which is Picture This Plus Sprite. So it's kind of a light lavendery color. Excuse the crinkleness of the linen. And there's the top. Again, with how many things I'm concentrating on and my other focus pieces that I want to focus on, this probably won't get pulled out this year. This is a Mania piece, so it will get pulled out just for Mania, maybe not anything else. It's a piece I ended up kind of later on going, oh brother, I don't know if I'll ever finish this piece. Because it's all one color and it's all block letters, and I found out I don't enjoy doing that. Boring, boring, boring. But I'm going to keep plodding along on it because I do like the saying for it. It's an Etsy pattern called In This House, and it's all the Star Wars things. So in this house we use the Force, and so I started it on a 28 count mystery Lugano, which I did not write down, but I know it's 28 count. I just don't know what whose it is. And I am using Anchor Black, and all I have done is in this, and this even isn't finished. The S isn't. So, but it could be really an awesome piece if I would just continue working on it. But it may only get its work done on Mania, because that block letters in black. But I'm not ready to give it up. You know, I still like the piece, so I'll plod away on it. This next piece, at first I was going to say no, but yeah, it will definitely get pulled out for seasonal stitching, because it only has half left to do, and I got half of it done this season, Halloween season. It's Blackbird design at First Cock's Crow, and I used it for a lot of prompts during the season and was really enjoying it. I did this along with Socks for Mom and Mama Hollis. It was for a birthday sale. Their birthday was in October, and so is mine. So I will pick it back up again, even though I didn't finish it. You know, I would love to work on it again. So, and It is being done with the called for over-dyed threads. I was able to find most of them amazingly. And they work good with this fabric. It's a picture this plus 28 count, but the tag was torn off, unfortunately, and I'm not sure which one it is. But it's this shows the color better. I was just showing you up close so you could just see the bird and the pumpkin. But it's a pretty brown, and it's working out good for the piece. And as you can tell, I'm like about halfway. I have to get started on the house and do this house down. So this will definitely be picked up for seasonal stitching and for props and things. I'll probably start it up in September, see if I can get it finished this year. Okay, One Nation. This is a Mania piece, and I believe, let's see, do I have it WIP Go? No, it's not on my WIP Go board. I'm surprised. But maybe it's because there were other smaller pieces I wanted to get finished that I knew I could get finished. This is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. This is like one of my patriotic pieces. So if I have some time, it along with my other patriotic piece probably should concentrate on it. I need to pull out the colors on this because I converted it to a different fabric and different colors of what I wanted to do. I didn't end up doing it on a I didn't end up doing it on like a natural or a darker natural linen. So I'm doing it on a 28 count vintage gray Lugana. And I'm going to fold this over. And that kind of gives you a look of what it is. So I had to kind of change my colors from what they had originally done. So what I opted for, oh my goodness, the names are backwards here. Let me find a, I'm using Classic Colorworks Cupid for the red. And Midnight for the blue. And I believe, let's see what the white is. Chalk. I'm using chalk for the white. All the identification tags are covered with the floss, so I had to pull up my little bag with all my extra floss in it to find the names. And I haven't done the red yet, but I'm sure the red's going to work out good. If it doesn't, I'll change out to something else. But I do like the Midnight and the chalk for it. And the chalk does show up well. So that will be pulled out for Mania. It's a Mania piece, ongoing. Started it at my first Mania, 2017. And, see what kind of work I can get done on it. It's not a focus piece, and so it won't get lots of work done on it, but it will be pulled out. This is a piece I started for my husband on his birthday. It's called The Moon. It's one of the tarot cards made into cross stitch. I'm doing it, since it is a full coverage, I'm using gridded fabric for it, a 25 count. Gridded even weave fabric. And there's the little bit I got started on it. My thought is I have this piece and another piece that I'll show tomorrow that I'm working on for my husband. And I think I may pull them out on his birthday and work on them, focus on them on that. So the other piece though is a focus piece that is actually on my WIP Go board, and it will get finished this year, so it will get a lot more work than what that one will get. Okay, and I'm to my last piece for this basket anyway, and that is the famous or infamous pattern that was so hard to get a few years ago, Lady of the Flag, which I'd already had for years but had never started. When everybody got into the big getting it again and all that, I thought, oh, I probably ought to go along. And I went along and got all excited and everything and thought, okay, I'm going to start this. So I started it right after I finished my Raven Queen, my very first Mirabilia. And my fabric is that Fabric Flare, the Constitution one. Started in the middle, and that's my little start. And I started it on 9/11, worked on it on 9/11 2 years ago, and then worked on it 9/11, a little bit on 9/11 this year. So whoopee, that's what I got done. She is down though on my WIP Go board, and when she gets pulled, I want to focus more time on her and get more done. So she looks a little bit more like a lady of the flag. So before I end, I want to let you know that they called the first WIP Go numbers, and we get one of our free spaces, which is the middle one where we get to pick whatever we want. That was amazing. And number 6 was picked, and number 18 was picked. I was hoping for a full coverage pick, which my number 6 is. And tomorrow when I show you my full coverage and the rest of my pieces, tomorrow will be most of my pieces that I'm working on right now, or I was working on this month, as well as full coverage. And I'm glad one of my full coverage was called, because this coming month in January I'm doing a full coverage bingo, and which I will go over with you when I do my plans and plans video. So that was exciting to me that got pulled. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. I will have my final basket tomorrow and wrap this up, and then we'll move on to plans, another video for plans. Maybe I'll get out my finishes for the year. I'll have to look for that. I see how many I did, and whether I still have them or pictures of them. Anyway, thanks for joining me again. I appreciate it, and you know, you guys all have a fun time watching all the WIP parades, and hope it gives you some like incentive to you know, go forward and get more work done on your WIPs this year, or give you exciting like thoughts of, oh, I want that one. So it's so much fun to watch them. Anyway, you guys take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.